Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. Welcome to episode 6 of my free-to-play series. If you haven't seen these videos before, this is a series where I'm playing through DDO on a fresh free-to-play account, and also I'm not doing any auction house, ship buffs, handy-downs, anything like that, just using what I find. Also trying to teach new players some things along the way. So, you guys notice anything different about my character today? Since the last episode? Anything different? Anything? Yeah, look at that. I got a great sword. So, the great sword drought finally ended. Between episodes 5 and 6, I did run through the quest that we're going to be going through in this episode and the next episode, which is Explosive Situation, Irestone Inlet, Fresh in the Air, Proofs in the Poison, and Catastrophe. I ran through all those on normal so that I could record a video of me playing them on hard. So in Catastrophe, after I cleared that on normal, in the in-reward list, I did get this great sword. Nothing crazy. Fiery 1, Tendon Slice 2, but it will work for my Greatsword favored weapon for my Paladin, so I'm really glad I finally got that. Couple other things I did. I increased my hot bars to 6 from 4 to 6 because I needed the extra room. Topped off some potions. I even bought a few more potions, so topped off my resists. Also, I bought some things we're going to need, not this episode, but the next episode. We're going to need either Night Shield or Shield. I went ahead and bought a Wand of Shield. It lasts 5 minutes, and some Night Shield scrolls in case I want that. But the reason I bought these is because they give you immunity to magic missiles, which is a spell that casters in Proof is in the Poison and Fresh in the Air that we're going to run next episode spam a lot. So I need to be prepared for that. In addition, I bought some Blessed Potions. I probably should have been doing that. Gives you an extra +1 to hit, and it gives me some protection from saves against fear. Protection from evil, probably should have been running that as well. I kind of realized the 5-minute buff. It gives you protection against certain compulsions, so things like command and so certain CC basically can give you protection from that. So I'm going to be running that for a while. Also, I bought this charisma wand. The reason I did that is because I really should have been using this the whole time. It's just I'm being kind of lazy here in previous episodes. I didn't want to have to constantly manage all these 5-minute buffs, but I'm going to need some extra help for these. Particularly Proof is in the Poison, which we'll get to next episode, is a really difficult quest at level, even on hard. You know, on this kind of character where I really don't have any gear, it's going to be pretty difficult. So I need charisma because it gives me charisma wand. This will give me an extra rank, maybe 2. Yeah, like 2 ranks of charisma because I don't think I have a charisma item on right now. So that'll give me extra UMD chance. So UMD, as you know, we took that skill so that we can use some cross-class items. One of those is Shield and Night Shield. So as you can see on here, we only have 30% to activate. So if we didn't take UMD, we would have like probably 0. I don't know exactly what would be. Probably 0. But I'm taking Charisma Wand because giving more ranks to Charisma will increase our UMD skill because UMD is Charisma based. So that's going to, in effect, give me more a better success chance on Shield. So that's why I did that. What else? We got a few other things I want to point out. I also went into Korthos and I farmed out another pair of Anger Step Boots. I should have done that when I was level 1, but I underestimated how much it would annoy me. So I grinded out another pair of these so that I have 20 minutes per rest of Expeditious Retreat, just so I'm faster. So I went back and did that. That is in the quest Sacrifices in Korthos. What else? I think that's about it for stuff I need to catch you guys up on. Okay, so couple things I want to show you before we start. So we're going to start with some of these level 4 quests. So today in this episode, we're going to go through Explosive Situation, Irestone Inlets, which are both level 4s, and we're also going to go through Catastrophe. I have a lot to say on the quest Catastrophe. It's a very important quest for us free-to-play players. Well, I am on this account anyways. So I want to go to the bank first here in the west of the marketplace. Oh, and by the way, I was over here. Actually, let me show you this. So I actually wanted to show you guys one thing, and that's the whole reason I started the episode over here. So over here in this part of the market, this is where all the Hireling vendors are. So I actually haven't pointed that out in previous episodes, but this is kind of your home base for buying your Cleric Hirelings that you're going to need. See, it goes all the way from level 4 up to level like 20 and even beyond in Epic Hirelings. So this is where you can get all your Hirelings for before level 4. You can get Hirelings from the one in Korthos, and also there's the one in the harbor. But this is where you'll need to be for levels 4 and above. So I actually need to buy a Hireling I actually use Kendra. I think maybe I'll try the dwarf guy this time. Yeah, why not? We'll buy him for this time. And we're going to actually buy one more. We're going to buy a level 6. Let's see. We got, because we'll be level 6 here pretty soon. Divine Vitality. It doesn't, a lot of times it doesn't really matter. I mean, some, you want to look at their spells. I'm going to go ahead and take probably this one. Actually, I'll probably take the other one. So what you tend to want to do when you look at cleric hirelings, a couple things I like to look at is look at their available spells. So this cleric, the reason I don't want to pick him is because he has sound burst, so he might waste spell points. All I personally really want a cleric to do is stand there and heal me. So I'm actually going to use this one because sometimes with hirelings, they can tend to waste their spell points on offensive spells, and I don't particularly like that. So anyways, there's our hireling. So now we're going to go to the bank. I want to show you a few things. So one other thing I hit in between episode 5 and 6 is I hit 75 Coin Lord's favor. So that I haven't turned it in yet because I wanted to show you guys on this video. But let's go over here to the bank and I'll show you what you need to do to get favor rewards. So if you go to your Adventure Compendium here and go to your patrons, this is where all your favor rewards are shown. And once you hit certain thresholds, you get a reward. So like Coin Lords, we got 75. And the reward for Coin Lords, and this is a very important faction because it gives you an extra inventory tab when you hit 75 favor. And you get yet another inventory tab when you get to 150. When you get to 150, you also have to pay 100,000 platinum and a portable hull. Class portable hull, which is an item you get later in the game, and I know we're not even close to being able to afford 100,000 platinum, but later on in the game you can get those, or if you're just playing not like me, just normally, a lot of players would be willing to just send you a portable hull and just give you 100k platinum, but for my purposes, since I'm kind of doing this, you know, as a challenge, I'm not going to be unlocking that second inventory tab anytime soon. But this first one that you get at 75 favor, this one's free. You just need to get 75 favors. So every time you get a favor reward, it pops in your mail. So you'll get a message like this, and it'll say, by completing quests that favor this particular faction, Coin Lords in this case, you've earned this reward. So you have to speak to Montague in the marketplace, and this is just the guy for the Coin Lords. Every single faction has a different NPC, but you need to be very careful about this because it's easy to get a message like this in your mail, read it, and then not turn it in immediately and then forget about it, and you don't actually get the reward until you go and talk to the patron. So you have to go talk to the guy. So you can see I have 3 inventory tabs. I'm going to talk to him, and he's going to unlock another one. See? So you go. There we go. We got a 4th inventory tab. So very important. Coin Lord favor and House Contract favor are really important because they give you extra bank and inventory space. So that's just something to keep in mind. And every quest in the game has a patron attached to it. So completing particular quests for that patron is how you get more favor to get those rewards. And you also get more favor for completing on higher difficulties. So in general, elite and above, if you complete it on elite or reaper, it'll give you full favor. If you complete it on hard, it'll give you about 2/3 to the favor, and normal will give you about 1/3 to the favor. So if you're looking for what quests to repeat, if you want to repeat quests, I would say at this point, if you're following along, repeat Coin Lord's favor quests because the favor is really, really useful. And there's a lot of quests that we've already done through these lower levels that are Coin Lord favor quests. So yeah, so I think that's all I want to have to say for that. Oh, and one other thing I want to teach you guys, I know it's like a long intro this episode, right? One other thing I want to teach you guys is UI skins. So you see the UI windows in the game, like the character sheet, all these other tabs, your hotbars. You can actually change the cosmetic look of these. And I'm going to link below in the description a video I did, which is just a 3-minute video, which will show you how to set this up. You can actually install a custom UI skin in DDO. And for me, I just like using it because it's just cosmetically, it just looks way better than the default one here. And there's tons of different skins that players have created for the game that you can install. But it's very, very, very simple process. It takes you just a few minutes. But to use your UI skin, once you get it installed, which is what I'm going to do now, there's in this UI settings window, there's a user skin drop-down box. So I'm going to, you see that? See, this is the default. And this is Blackbird, which is just one of many skins. And this just happens to be my favorite because it's just a basic plain black one. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch my UI to that. I just find it more visually appealing. But yeah, just something cool you can do. All right, so we're gonna go to Catastrophe first, which I have a lot to say about this quest. Okay, so almost all the quests we've been running so far in this playthrough have been very, very old quests. I think every single quest we've run has been old. This one is not. Catastrophe is a very new quest. This quest just came out. This came out mid-late 2023, and this quest was a result of a poll that Standing Stone Games did for the player base, and we're going to do it on hard because we've already done it on normal, so we can unlock hard. So this is something they did with the player base. So they did a poll in PAX East, which is a big convention in Boston in 2023. They had, let me pull up my Hireling here. They had a poll, and players voted on the theme of the quest, and the theme that players voted for was there to be something to do with a cat and a dragon. So this is a comedy quest. It's very, very silly. This quest is kind of about this cat, as you can see up here, that gets turned into a dragon, and all kinds of funny stuff ensues. But the thing that's really important about this quest, so this is a free-to-play. Occasionally we'll do a free-to-play quest, and this is a very new one. So what's important about it, just aside from that cool like PAX footnote, is that this quest, it's being very new, has very, very good gear in comparison to other free-to-play quests. So compared to like paid content, no, the gear isn't anything special. But if you're a pure free-to-play player, the gear in this quest is amazing. So if you want, and like there's multiple things, multiple pieces of gear in this quest and chest that are valuable for us. So if you want to, you know, you can farm this quest and rerun it on Elite, you know, hard and then Elite once you unlock it if you want. But there's certainly some good gear. Now, you don't have to, but if you want some good gear, like this is the quest. So far, there's been a few things worth farming. Like the first one I'd mentioned some time ago, which was the in Korthos, that shield clicky, if you have the ability to, if you have open lock on your character. But we don't, so I wasn't able to farm that. So really, right now, this is probably the first really notable thing I can think of that you could farm if you wanted to. Like there's a really good set of, for us, there's a really good set of bracers, a really good set of boots that have speed 15 and dusk on them, which dusk gives you a 10% concealment miss chance. So yeah, there's some quite good gear here, you know. So we've got this, with this greatsword. So the cool thing about this is we can now benefit from that Knights of the Chalice enhancement. That, let me actually do, I should be using these potions I just bought. We can now benefit from that Knights of the Chalice enhancement. It gives us extra attack, a bunch of extra attack and damage now that we're using greatswords from our enhancements. And we also can benefit, actually, no, I don't think that's correct. Let me take that back. But yeah, there's just a lot of benefits in the Knights of the Chalice tree. I am hoping I get lucky here. I'm thinking I may, between the next episode, or maybe between episodes 6 and 7, I might farm this quest myself. Again, don't feel like you have to, but if you want to, if you're that kind of person who wants something to farm, you know, this is the quest for you so far. Now there are limits. If you get into farming, there's a mechanic in DDO called ransack. So you're only allowed to loot a chest a certain amount of time in any particular week. So first time you open a chest in DDO, that chest gets a timer starts, a 1 week timer starts in that chest, and within that week, I believe it's 8 lootings you get. You all correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe it's 8 that you get before you hit ransack. And once you hit ransack, you can no longer get named loot from that chest. So basically, you can only loot a chest that many times per week. The reason DDO does that, I mean, a lot of players complain about that. The reason they do that, though, well, this is just my opinion, but I think the reason they do that is because they want to encourage players to play a variety of content. And I guess not burn themselves out too much. Whoops. So this is a rust monster. That might be the first rust monster that we've seen. But rust monsters, like oozes, will eat your weapons. So make sure you swap to a different weapon. This quest being newer is a little bit harder than some other quests around its level, I find. Particularly the infight. We're going to fight a mimic. And the mimic is quite challenging, actually. So this dog was a champion. We want to try to take him out first. This, some of the mobs here, like if you get champion archers are kind of a continually difficult thing that you face in DDO. So, like, see that guy right here? He's a champion. We can see a crown over his head. This hired tough. We really want to go for him first. Try to CC him if we can. See, he actually has blurry. You see that blurry? He had the trait blurry. So what that is that's a mischance. That's actually the same mischance that's on the boots that I hopefully pull from the scent chest. But what they do, what blurry does, is it gives you a concealment mischance. So concealment is one of many different defensive layers of defense in DDO. So it's concealment based. It's called the concealment bonus to mischance. Okay, so if you have dust, you get 10%. Blurry is 20. Displacement is, what is displacement? Sorry guys, don't quote me on this. Look on the wiki, but I believe displacement's 50%, if I'm getting that correct. But basically it's just a concealment mischance. Now, you can bypass this completely with the True Seeing spell or an item with True Seeing on it. If you have True Seeing, and by the way, this ball of yarn, it's a cat and a dragon. So the dragon, the giant dragon, wants to chase a ball of yarn. So if you have an item or the True Seeing spell, then you completely bypass an enemy's concealment mischance and you just completely ignore it. So they don't get that mischance. It's the same for you. So you can get blurry or displacement on an item. But if an enemy has True Seeing, then they bypass that layer of defense completely. So it's one thing to learn about DDO. There's a lot of different layers of defense. You know, you got PRR and MRR with that reduce your, reduce the amount you take from physical or magical damage. You have dodge, which is a complete mischance. You have displacement, which is the concealment chance we talked about. You have ghostly, which is the incorporality mischance, which is another layer. That one you can enemies, if enemies have that, you can bypass that with a ghost touch weapon. So yeah, there's a lot of different layers you'll learn about as you go through. Okay, so we are going to be pretty careful in this end fight here. Went ahead and shrined. You know, I'm gonna have my hireling, I guess, shrined for the heck of it too. So we need to make sure we got all our resists going and our buffs. So we're going to do wisdom. We're going to do bull strength. We're going to do this for some better saves. Protection from evil. We want bless. And we also want our resists. I know it's a lot of little buffs to deal with. Let me go ahead and just take one of all resists. Okay. Oh, we got to turn on this fountain first. Okay. We also want to make sure we are using our boosts. So So he's doing acid damage. We also have, if we need it, so our Hireling's healing us, but we also have our lay on hands if we need it. Okay, so not too bad. A lot of stacking acid damage, like acid resist is really important. He hits, that mimic will stick that acid damage over time effect on you. Alright, so that's it for Catastrophe. We just gotta talk to this dragon, then talk to this NPC, and hopefully we get a piece of loot. I think we're just waiting for the dragon. There we go. Waiting for the dragon to finish its lines. Come on, loot. Nope. No luck. Alright, so next we're going to run, even though I will rerun this, I'm not going to rerun it this episode, we're going to run to Explosive Situation, and then we're going to go to, let's see, did I get a great, ooh, I got another great sword. We got Antarctic 1. Oh, as this Antarctic is another effect, kind of like how we had Unholy, which gives you a negative level to good characters. Antarctic gives a negative level to lawful, so we're not going to be able to use this. Plus, the other one's just better anyway. It's got tendon slice on it, so we won't bother with that. We have death block of PRR. That's not bad. The death block we don't quite need yet. I think it's around level 7, level 8 or so. Probably level 8 is where we need death block. But we can go ahead and take that, sure. The PRR bonus on it's quite nice though. So a couple things I did do between last episode, and let's go ahead and take our silver roll. So we've gotten 100 experience points on I think both of our last 2 rolls, and we got it again. I am not getting lucky this series on my silver rolls. So one thing I did do in between episodes as well, which I should have pointed out, is I did change my enhancement up a little bit. So I did take Sacred Defender stance, which is one of the best things about Paladin. It's just a lot of extra, really nice defensive benefits. So the Core 2 gives us the stance, and then I also took these 2 to give me plus 15 PR and MRR, and this is also gives me plus 1 bonus to saves. I normally wouldn't take saves with like my multi-TR like Uber character, but with this character I'm finding that I really need more saves to not get held. That's the really big danger, right? And currently in this series I'm finding is getting held, getting crowd controlled. That's how I died the first time, right? If you guys didn't see the last episode, I actually died. Where are we going? We're going to the harbor. I actually died in Waterworks on hard. Just like, I can't remember the last time I died on hard ever in DDO. But yeah, I got held. I rolled a 1 on a Kobold Shaman's whole person. Got held, and that was it. Crowd control is, at this point in the game, is the single most deadly thing you're going to run into, in my experience. Another thing that we'll have to keep in mind is, so I got that death block armor. Death block, you don't quite have to worry about yet. At level 5, almost level 6. But a death block gives you immunity. So that's the effect that was on this armor we just picked up, death block. It gives you immunity to all death spells and magical death effects. It's basically, once you get to around level 8 or so, it becomes a requirement, because enemies start casting things that can kill you in 1 hit. We're going to go to Explosive Situation, which I believe is over here. So things like, spells like Finger of Death, for example, they can just kill you in 1 hit. It's necromancy spells, basically, that are just insta-kills. So enemies do throw those, so you have to be aware of that. And Deathblock makes you immune. And you can't just rely on your saves for this, for those spells, because what if you roll a 1? Everyone rolls a 1. You roll a 1. 1 out of every 20 rolls, you're going to roll a 1. So, I mean, on average, obviously, but about 5% of the time, well, exactly 5% of the time, you're going to roll a 1, right? So it doesn't matter if you have your saves are a million. If you roll a 1, you're going to auto-fail. If they cast that death spell at you and you roll a 1, you're going to die no matter what your saves are. So you got to have death block at all times. Not quite yet, but around level 8 or so, we'll start worrying about that. Okay, so Explosive Situation. This quest is kind of interesting, because this was recently changed. It used to be a solo quest, and now it's just a regular, normal, hard, elite, like standard quest. But it used to be a solo quest to where it only had one difficulty solo. Like if you remember the Miller's Debt, which is over there by the stairs in the harbor, that's an example of a solo quest. But now it's just a normal, hard, elite quest. Really easy quest. This one, it's called Explosive Situation because it kind of introduces the concept of these explosive barrels. So on hard, I don't know that it's going to be that big a deal, but they're pretty dangerous on elite. So one thing you can do if you want to here is like, see you have some of these guys. I didn't mean to target him, but you can blow up the barrels next to him and hurt them if you want to. I think that's what the quest kind of incentivizes you to do, but be careful with all these explosive barrels. I'm actually going to test it, see how much. Okay, it only does 9, so it's not too bad, but on higher difficulties, they can be painful. So just, you know, watch out, watch where you swing. Very short quest. The next one, Irestone Inlet, is going to be the longest one we're going to run today. By the way, I am looking for these Siberi's Dragon Shard fragments because I'm going to show you guys whenever I get enough of them. I think I need 400. Yeah, 400. I'm going to be able to access, be able to do the attunement ritual with the Stone of Change, which if you remember from a previous episode, I showed that to you. It's right next to the market. It's not very important at all in DDO, but it's something I thought I would show you. But you need like 400 Siberi's Dragon Shard fragments to attune a weapon. And the main thing that does is prevents permanent damage on your weapons if you want to do that. And I talked about permanent damage in a previous episode, and it's not very important that your random gen stuff that it takes permanent damage. But if you want to prevent it, you can with the attunement ritual, because attuned weapons don't take damage. The reason why permanent damage on weapons isn't a problem is because it only affects, in DDO, it only affects unnamed loot, so like random gen loot. Named loot is not affected, and all the best loot in this game is named loot, so which doesn't take permanent damage, so it's not a problem. Plus, even if you are using random gen loot like we are, we're going to be out leveling our gear before that's really a problem. So it's really, unless you have a piece of gear you might want to reuse that you really like, you might want to reuse it on a later, you know, reincarnation. Maybe you want to attune that, but in general, you know, it's not a big deal to take permanent damage or to attune stuff, but it's there. It's an option if you want to do it. I think I'm up. I checked actually in between these two episodes. I'm up to about, I think I'm up to about 250 or so Siberi's fragments. So that's something I'll need to remember to go over with you all in a future episode. Okay, what do we got? I still would like to have, okay, mithril, dodge, fire resistance. Ooh, fire resistance 9, that's not bad. Although, because we are going to, nah, I'm not going to bother. Electric absorb, cold resistance, vitality has augment slots, but we don't have augments. So I guess I can talk about augments here. So I'm just take whatever. But I didn't want any of that. Actually, no, I've already talked about augments in a previous episode. But certain items will have augment slots, so you can actually slot in augments. Okay, guys, we're gonna do one more quest, Irestone Inlet, which is it's a fun quest. It has some cute mechanics in it. So it's a very wide open, kind of very open quest, not as linear as the dungeons we've done. So you need to go to Nick Cage over here. Not Nick Cage. I mean Niles Cage, not Nicolas Cage. That's the actor. This is the sailor. Okay, doing this one on hard. Yeah, at this point, it's been a level or two since I haven't picked up any like awesome pieces of gear really, or anything that I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I have that. The only thing really is this +3 combat mastery item that I got from, that from Haverdasher in reward list, which has been pretty useful for better stunning blows, but and trips. So I've been happy to get that. You don't see combat mastery +3 too much on that low a level item. Oh, I need to actually buff. There hasn't been really too much. I really hope I can get, and I don't know how much I'll farm it, but I do think I'm going to do a couple more runs at least of Catastrophe. I would love to get those boots from Catastrophe, or the bracers from Catastrophe. If you want to look at all the loot from that quest, by the way, just go to DDO Wiki, ddowiki.com, and type in Catastrophe, or actually just go Catastrophe DDO Wiki and Google. The search doesn't really work too well on the DDO Wiki. Okay, but back to this quest. So, a couple things we need to do in this quest. These explosive powder kegs we have to pick up, but it won't let you pick them up until you read a note that's on the other side of the level. So we're going to make our way over there. It's over here near the shrine to the east. Look at me, I farmed out an extra set of boots and I haven't even been using them. So the other thing we have to do, we have to pick up those explosive powder kegs, and we have to rescue 8 crewmates. The other thing we have to do is we have to blow up a ship. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Well, we're supposed to have, actually, you know what, we might have to, let's see. Oh, we have to kill, I think we have to kill, actually. There should be a note right here. But I think we have to actually kill a few more things until we can get it. Let's go back. I think we might have to do these objectives. Kill the cook and first mate, perhaps. Alright, so let's just go around and kill stuff.
At a cook pot in the back of the camp, a kobold mixes
Actually, I may be misremembering. Actually, the note might actually be in a different location. I really should know. I ran the quest yesterday. But yeah, I mean, like I said in an earlier episode, though, it's nice revisiting some of these quests because I'm a in-game player primarily and a level 15 to 34 player, so a lot of these early quests, I'm really having to. I think it's a good idea to rerun this stuff on normal before I record the episode, so that I can refresh my mind a little bit on these. This is stuff I ran when I was like way back in the day. I ran this stuff a lot, but man, when you don't run this stuff all the time, you can forget things. Okay, so a bunch of questions that you guys had. I have like a whole list. I'm just basically on Google Docs. I'm just copy and pasting your all's questions as I see them, and I'll just go through them in episodes as I can. One of the questions you guys had was, I'll try not to die. Yeah, these champions can be nasty. One of the things you guys asked about was attack chance and base attack bonus. Okay, so there's the cook we killed. Just keep going around. We'll go up here. Actually, I think the note might be up here. So, base attack bonus. So, your attack bonus... Let me kill this ogre first. Okay, so attack bonus goes into the formula for hitting a monster. So, okay, and here's this thing we had to read. My fault. I was wrong. It was over here, not by that restaurant earlier. Okay, so attack bonus, if you want to go to your inventory tab, you can go down here on the bottom, click on this details drop down window. You can see your attack bonus. So mine's 14. Base attack bonus is just a subset of this attack bonus, which is based on your, and I'm gonna go ahead and shrine, which is based on your class. So like fighter gets a better base attack bonus than like sorcerer, right? So certain classes get a better base attack bonus than others, and that is a part of your total attack bonus. Your attack bonus can be increased in other ways. So base attack bonus has a cap of 25, but you can increase your attack bonus in many other ways. There's feats, there's gear, there's enhancements, and the way it works is similar to how it works in pen and paper. So okay, so we got to start rescuing people. All right, so in pen and paper or in DDO, when you go to hit a monster, there's a check. It takes your attack bonus. We can start picking up these kegs now that we picked up that book. But basically, there's a formula. Wow, that's a lot of damage from that caster. There's a formula which takes your total attack bonus versus the monster's AC. And if your attack is high enough, to simplify things, if your attack is high enough, then you hit. If your attack is not high enough to beat the AC of the monster, then you get a grazing hit. And what happens on a grazing hit is you do very little damage. So you want a high enough attack bonus to not get a grazing hit. So if you look at your D20 roll, it's also influenced by your D20 roll, that formula. If you look at the little dice, see right here on the right, you see hit. If I roll like a 1 or a 2, you'll see grazing hit or miss. Actually, 1 will be a miss because you always miss on a 1. But just like you always hit on a 20. Talked about that last episode. But if you look, you can see where you're grazing, where you're not. If you're grazing on like 6 and 7s, that's not good, and you should look to get more attack, whether that's through an item or an enhancement or a feat. It's important. To hit is not really in my experience, it's not a huge problem in in-game, or in not in-game, in like as you're leveling low levels, but it becomes, and I'm taking a lot of damage, but it becomes more of a problem at in-game. Like in-game, you need a lot to hit. Like when you get to legendary mid-high reapers, you need like 160, 170 to hit, if not higher.
You have found 6 powder kegs.
Like I don't know the exact number you need, but I find in my experience you really want to have at least like currently in in-game, like I would say at least above 150. I'm actually just realizing something. Where is power attack? Okay, I had power. I was wondering. Power attack wasn't on my hotbar. I had it toggled on, but I didn't have it. I did not have it on my showing on my hotbar. So we got burdened. So in this quest, you got to grab these powder kegs, and they're heavy. So if you have too much stuff, then you can get burdened. And everything has a different amount of weight. So what should we need? I think we have enough powder kegs. So we're just going to run over there, do that. So if you're burdened, it can just slow you down, basically. But we'll go fix that. We're going to run over here, which is... we also are enfeebled, which is reducing our strength, which is adding to it. Yeah, so our strength was 9 versus 18 because we were enfeebled by that that caster, the Hobgoblin caster is casting enfeeblement. And I really should watch my buffs. My buffs have expired. I need to fix that. I don't even know if I ever rebuffed after the shrine. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, one thing I don't like about low levels is, man, your buffs don't last that long. You really got to watch it. When you get later in the game, if you're using spells, you'll get higher duration, so you don't have to refresh your buffs as much. Yeah, we don't need any more. We don't need any more kegs. Let's go ahead and kill this stuff. So when you blow up this ship, you need to make sure you run a good distance away from it, because if it blows up and you're near it, even if you're like around here, you will die. So you need to watch that. And I'm actually, oh, my Hireling's getting beat on here. All right, I'm gonna get him to come over here. Just all right. Come here, buddy. All right, I'm gonna have him stand here so he doesn't follow me onto the ship. Hireling's actually doing a decent amount of damage. He was doing like 100 from his, looks like scorching light or whatever it's called. All right, so to light the boat here, you're going to, the kegs you picked up, you're going to put it here in these spots by just clicking, and then you have to click this to light the torch. But you need to make sure right when you light that torch, you run away. If you stay on that boat, it insta-kills you. And, yeah, you want to run, run, run. Yeah, we get a big explosion animation. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is we got to kill the captain, who will be running around here somewhere, and we've got to rescue 2 more crewmates. So they are, pretty sure I know where one is. I'm not sure where the other one is. We'll have to run around until we can find him. It's possible I missed one, or I might have been jabbering. There should be one up here. Yep, there's one.
Hubble the hobgoblin stands with weapons drawn.
Oh. Thank you. Ran out of, I had to use my lay on hands earlier. I might take more lay on hands next, because there's spots where your hireling may not be able to get to you because they may be getting hit, failing their concentration checks. Like if you're hireling, if you're trying to get it to heal you, it might not be able to heal you because it might be held, it might be, you know, it might be CC'd. It might be getting hit. Can't always rely on your hirelings to heal you when you want to be healed. Let's see. We'll have to just run around and find it. But hey, it gives me a chance to talk about more stuff, right? Nothing here. So you guys also asked about... let's see, attack damage, space attack bonus, double strike. Double strike's a really good effect, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Double strike, it is, let's see, should be right here. I have none right now, but you can see how much double strike you have by highlighting that little orange icon on your character sheet. But basically, your double strike gives you a chance to have a second hit. So so the more double strike you have, if you have 100% double strike, you're always getting 2 hits. So it's just super good. It's basically just extra DPS. So double strike, extremely good on items. Criticals are confirmed criticals. Okay, you guys asked about that as well. Let's see. Let's kill these guys first. There's Yar. So, critical hit is based on your die roll. So every time you roll, like I explained in earlier episodes, you roll a d20 anytime you attack. And every weapon has a different critical profile. So you can look at the profile by hovering over your weapon. This greatsword has a 19 to 20 times 2. So that means anytime I roll a 19 or a 20, which is going to happen 10% of the time, I'm going to get a critical hit. You can expand your critical threat range by getting feats like improved critical feat, which we're going to take later. Where is that other? We're just literally looking for that last crewmate. with the improved critical feat, with other a lot of times in some of these nicer trees, tier 5 of these melee enhancement trees, you can find critical range boosters or critical multiplier boosters. And when you get a critical hit, if you do roll, like in this case, 19 to 20, you get a 2 times multiplier to your damage. So you just do a lot of extra damage. Where is extra? Yeah, this is one of these quests where it's unfortunate. Like if you miss something, you can find yourself backtracking quite a bit. Literally just looking for one NPC to talk to, and we'll be done. Oh, there he is. He's up here on this hill. There he is. But yeah, that's basically in a simple form, critical hit. Now I will say in DDO, critical hits are extremely important. The game's meta kind of revolves around critical hits. So it's all about increasing your critical threat range in critical multiplier to being as wide and as strong as possible. It's not all your damage, but it's like a huge part of the gearing meta DDO for sure. Like one of my favorite builds in DDO is, oh, we need to run away. Yeah. Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, there's the champion. Okay. Okay, one of my favorite builds is Sylvanas cleric or paladin builds, which use mauls, and the whole concept of that build is they use the Sylvanas deity feat, which gives +2 to your critical threat range of mauls. So it's like a huge deal.
You have saved 8 crewmates.
All right, so we are done with the quest. All we got to do now is go to the east here, and we got to talk to the NPCs that are over here near the shrine. So we're burdened again because we got enfeebled. So all we can do here is drink a lesser restore potion. That's why they're good to have these around. That can cure that, along with many other nasty status effects like ability damage. That's why lesser restore potions very good. A lot of classes get the spell as well, like cleric gets the spell. But it's something you all throughout DDO. If you're on a melee class who doesn't have spells like fighter or paladin, for your entire DDO career, no matter what level you're at, you want lesser restore potions. There we go. That's it, and we have reached level 6. So guys, we will start. I was hoping I'd reach level 6 this episode, because next episode we're going to go into Proof is in the Poison and Fresh in the Air, which are 2 extreme challenge dungeons, especially Proof in the Poison. It's a lot harder than most quests at level, and I'm going to have to really play around, make sure I have my magic missile immunity up that we talked about earlier. So that one's going to be, I think that'll be a fun episode, and we'll see if I have death number 2 or not. Yeah, all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you for the next one. Have a good one. Take care.